I always have mixed feelings about these episodes.
Here we go!
Let's
Lift
do this.
the cloche.
Oh, hey.
I like it, it's mechanical.
It's got a clamp.
Here we go again with another bunch of kitchen gadgets for our chef and normal to review. It's a mixed bag today, so sit tight.
So whatever it is, clamps in here. Great.
So is it rolling it?
So on the top here, you can see from on the side, it's got beveled edges, like it's ribbed. It doesn't like smoothly flow and feed. It kind of like throws it in. And in throwing it in, presumably, as this bit passes here, we'll cut it off each time.
Oh.
Doosh, doosh, doosh. So whatever
far-
is going in one side is coming out as individual pieces the other.
But it also feels like it needs to be firm.
It's some kind of pasta shaper because it looks like a pasta roller, except it's not rolling.
Exactly that. This is the Tisting Cavatelli machine.
Cavatelli.
Cavatelli.
What's that?
Should we make it and find out?
I think we should, because I'm guessing that's a pasta shape, but I don't know off the top of my head what pasta shape that is. Do you reckon we feed it in as a snake, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know.
Cavatelli is traditionally made with a paddle, but this machine makes it with speed and far more ease. Simply feed a length of dough through the machine, turn the handle, and the machine instantly produces pretty shaped pasta or gnocchi.
I'm really intrigued because I have no idea what this is going to look like.
Do you want to turn? And then keep a steady flow, a steady rhythm.
It's weird how it's they're both working at different speeds.
Okay.
I told you it was ribbed. We have pasta.
I imagine when you're actually doing it on a work surface, it'll be better than a rickety chopping board because that's not.
Yeah, it's supposed to clamp to something firmer, but we're getting the idea. What's it called?
Cavatelli.
What does that mean?
Cavatelli means to hollow out. So as a shape, it's not a million miles away from a penne in that it's ribbed and it's got a hole in the middle, but it's kind of like spiraling itself.
Yep.
It's a really cool shape. And because of those little ridges,
Excellent for sauce.
yeah, it's going to catch all that sauce on the outside, but also on the inside too.
Talking of sauces, we've pre-made one of my favourite psychic recipes, a creamy sun-dried tomato and basil sauce.
Oh, I know this one. This is actually very, very good.
Lovely, lovely,
Wow, and it's
lovely.
made. Thank you for pre-making it.
I mean, there's no denying that would have
little bit
taken
irregular.
approximately 10 times longer to do by hand, and they'd have been half as regular. I think what we found the second time round was a slightly thinner feed. So the A length can be whatever, but I think the diameter of the length should be a bit thinner. You get through a fair amount of dough in a fair decent time.
Nice.
Yeah,
and
it's
the
great.
sauce will stick to that nicely.
That looks amazing.
I'm getting stuck straight in. I already know how this tastes.
Cheers.
So overall thoughts?
Sorry, that sauce is so good. You can literally use it everywhere.
Don't get distracted by the sauce when looking at the pasta.
I like gadgets that give you something you really would struggle to achieve without it.
Yeah.
And by that I mean, you can even make this dish without it by picking a different pasta shape that's readily available. I'm sure you can buy this pasta shape in the UK, but you probably need to search it out. It's not a more familiar one. So by buying this and it working that easily and quickly, you've got something that would be really difficult to do without.
Yeah, it's fun to use. We've learned something new in using it, and it absolutely achieves the result that it sets out to. So if you're looking for it, it will do it. I guess it's just price.
Yeah, how much reckon we paid for it?
It's sturdy,
I think 35 quid.
but it's single use, and if you had a worktop it would cling to, I think 25 quid.
Very, very close. £33.49.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's rugged, it's solid, it does what it says.
And it's a really chunky, heavy, firm pasta shape. And because it's been hollowed out, you've got all this sauce running all the way through the middle and clinging to the ribbed edges. Double thumbs up.
So the Tisting Cavaletti machine, do you like it or is it testing your patience?
That's good. Yes to
Oh, no.
question
Yes.
one.
Dough, I like it.
Right, loosen up, boys. Next one, lift it.
Go for it, chef. None of these bits move. It's got no moving parts. It's tilted.
Ebbers has given me the eye. I think he knows what it is.
I have seen this on the gram. It's kind of like a book, like a wedge, almost like a book stop that you can put something in and it will hold it in place.
Go on, Mike.
It's one of your favourite foods.
No clue.
Oh.
Is this to make oyster shucking safer?
This is the Oyster Clamp 2.0. The Oyster Clamp is revolutionising the way we enjoy oysters. It makes it safer and easier. Designed by chefs, for chefs and normals. We've shucked quite a few oysters here, and I think every time it's a bit of a faff. Even chefs struggle. It's down to practice. And this should make the learning process a little bit easier.
So straight off the bat, we've got just oysters that have come in.
Yes.
All different shapes and sizes.
I've already hit a floor in my appreciation for this.
Yep.
Now this is at the end of the table, you kind of run the risk of anything dribbling off onto the floor, onto your shorts, and in and around.
Oh, interesting.
So you kind of still want that, which gets rid of some of the grip. The point is that an oyster knife is not sharp,
It still could do
but
some
it's
damage.
incredibly pointy, and if it jolts, that's where damage is done. So I think I'd still want this as well, but this should help with the grip, because you're now pushing down into the board rather than this. So you go in and find a loose point. This is where already now we have a puddle where it's caught the juice. Maybe that's a good thing. It's a completely different way to the way you'd normally do it. So you've got to rethink oyster shucking.
Because you don't need to apply the same amount of pressure, do you, with the top hand?
And this is the bit that's slightly bizarre, is it has caught it, a lot of it, so maybe it's better.
Oh. They say 95% of people feel more safe when using oysters and using this. 93% notice they can shuck oysters more easily, and 90% saw an overall improvement in their shucking of oysters.
Let's try.
So you're right, there's more control. You're forcing down into a grip place that's very sturdy rather than your hand, which is also potentially moving. The other damage that I have seen chefs do is, in order to have that sturdy, you kind of do it against almost like a down or a hip, and then you can also slide that way. Jam a corner in, use that to leverage open and pop open the shell, and then skim across the top.
That, I've never felt.
As comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
It is different to the way that I've ever shucked before, slightly. So you have to readjust, but it works.
I think it works brilliantly, actually. From my perspective, as someone who is very inexperienced, it almost forces you to do it the right way.
Yep, so easier, tick. Safer, definitely tick. What I want to know is, from a chef's point of view, is it more efficient and faster? Because I know that in the kitchen, shucking oysters is an art, and speed is of the essence, because there's a lot of work in it and you've got to do a lot of them.
And it's when you get to the speed and you get, you're a bit wet, maybe the handle of the knife is a bit wet, that's when accidents happen as well. So therefore it's adding more safety to that.
So how much do you think we paid to solve this problem?
I mean, it's just a piece of wood,
It's a well-designed.
3, but it's about the ergonomics, it's about the idea. And the price is almost irrelevant if it's saving people limbs.
£20?
That's probably 18.
On the nose, 20 quid.
I think that's fair enough. It does the job.
It's a sturdy bit of wood that will go on and will do a great job.
Well, easy question. Is it shockingly brilliant or does it shuck you off?
I don't know what any of those as
The
verbs
latter
are supposed
one
to be.
sounds terrible.
It's shockingly brilliant. Ebbers likes it.
I agree.
Next one.
Next one.
Boys, lift the next cloche.
What's this made of? Silicone? Oh, it's not.
I don't
Is
know
it
why.
A measurement. What are there units on this? Date, title.
It looks like a shopping list. Is it so you're in the kitchen, you're writing stuff down, you go, take the shopping list with me?
No,
And you go to the store and you've got your shopping list on your wrist. Because I don't wear a watch, so that would be the second best place for it, really.
This is a wearable memo that you can wrap around your arm and use anywhere, anytime, designed so you can write down your shopping list, wrap it around your arm, and do your shopping at the same time.
I have thoughts. Some of them are really good and some of them are really terrible. Which would you like first?
Tell you what, let's put it to practice.
So there's 16 gaps for 16 items per time. You can even remind yourself of the date and what this list is for.
Yeah, this list is for shopping.
Shopping.
It's quite nice to write on.
So made from silicone, it has a unique coating that allows you to write with an oil-based ballpoint pen. and then erase it with an eraser or your finger, making it reusable multiple times.
It feels quite nice to write on.
Interestingly, turns out, Mike, I found another egg. We don't need eggs. You just thumb it off.
Also, it's completely waterproof, so when you're on the way to the shops and it starts raining, your shopping list doesn't get soggy.
I mean, I wouldn't be seen in public wearing it.
No.
You've worn worse.
It's a...
We all have phones. I have lots of lists on my phone, but I still do find myself scribbling things on the back of my hand.
Do you?
Every now and then, I'm using a new lock and I've got to write a PIN code on the back of my hand.
That's security first, that is.
But like, it's basic things like that I'll need it for, but not for writing proper lists.
And that's where I think maybe Memo is clever branding. I think if that was shopping list, I'd say, get out of here. This might be useful in places where you have to-do lists, mise en place lists, that you don't want to have to reach for a laptop or a device if you are in the kitchen and mucky or doing DIY. In kitchens, in professional kitchens,
if you've got a
mise en place list of 12 things you have to get through, you're less likely, and it's definitely less hygienic, to keep reaching into your pocket for a personal device. When we do our filming days and big live events and stuff, the long list of things that must be prepped ahead of time and in an order, the team here have on electronic devices, that's the only time I can say, it's still ridiculous and you'd still be laughed at by all your peers, but a legitimate reason.
We now think we've found a use for this thing. How much do you think it is?
I think you paid £15 for it.
£8.
£17.
Goodness me.
Let's just get to the question. Does this gadget slap, or is it just a silicone?
This is a silicone, and I'm a fan of silicone at the best of times, but this is one silicone too many.
For some people, it could slap. For me, it's a silicone.
Next one. Boys, number 4.
Josh doesn't even balance on this one. I've been asked to hold it.
Whip it off!
Ending modestly.
Hopper 1, 2, and 3. Something is automated. Cuisinart is a brand I know. Is it?
This could be brilliant.
For a moment, I thought it might be an ice cream machine, and these are for your sprinkles and toppings to hopper on. But no.
Okay.
Yeah. Funneling, measuring,
Stirring.
guiding, and then kind of stirring or.
What made you backtrack off ice cream, Ben?
Well, I didn't, because I haven't got anything better yet.
Okay.
But this in the front felt like it was gonna allow soft serve or something.
Boys, you've absolutely nailed it. Stick to your gut. So this is the Cuisinart Soft Serve Ice Cream Maker. They say it will transform your kitchen into a personalised ice cream parlour with one of the best ice cream makers on the market. The Cuisinart Soft Serve Ice Cream Machine, the ultimate tool for creating delicious homemade treats for any occasion.
Cool, I am intrigued.
So am I. Shall we use it?
Yes, please.
That's the idea.
Now the first instruction was to freeze the bowl that it came with. So that is freshly frozen.
That is frozen.
And then we've got your ice cream mix there and a selection of toppings.
Number 1, remove the freezer bowl from the freezer. Place the freezer bowl into the main housing of the ice cream maker. Locate and align the mixing paddle into the hole on the top of the underside of the lid, and align and push both into place.
Right. That is really cold.
Yeah. Great.
In.
And then align the paddle on the lid. A chocolate topping mix, maybe some biscuity bits, and the classic rainbow hundreds and thousands.
As a kid, where could you get the best ice cream experience from?
The creepy man with the noisy truck outside who comes around once a day.
Pizza Hut ice cream.
Oh,
Pizza Hut lunchtime ice cream maker, this reminds me of. That slides in like that.
Number 5, place the drip tray on the base. Done. Place the lid with the mixing paddle over the ice cream bowl and push down. You're one step ahead on that one.
So what's our ice cream mix?
So it's their recipe that they supply you. So it's a double cream, milk, sugar, iced sugar, and vanilla, and obviously some chocolate.
Lovely.
Which we have made and ideally chilled to below 4 degrees Celsius, which is
It is very chilled.
Turn the power dial to the 1 position.
1, because there's a 1 and a 2.
And the mixing paddle will begin to turn. Add the ice cream mixture to the bowl by pouring through the opening in the lid. It says 20 25 to 30 minutes, depending on the volume of ice cream you're making, but set a time of 15 and check.
As well as storing your sprinkles up top, there's also a keep warm plate, so you can keep your chocolate spread or biscuit spread here warm at the bottom for a nice drizzle at the end. What makes soft serve soft serve?
In answer to your question, Baz, soft serve is semi-solid ice cream. Contains less milk fat than regular ice cream, resulting in a smoother texture. So while you've got a hob on your side, I've got a library on mine. It's got a little book icon, and inside it's got a QR code for all the recipes.
That's actually pretty handy.
It means it's never going to get lost, and it's just got the library icon.
I quite like that.
16 minutes.
Oh,
You can hear the resistance, and then it's kind of just gone, no more.
I've turned it off.
It says it should be churning while it's going. No.
Why is it not?
It's either frozen solid and or dripping wet. So on a first go with their recipe, it doesn't work. However, we have relatively good soft serve on the top, but I think the bottom is frozen so solid that without it churning, it's not going to push it through.
And now it's too cold to churn.
The ice cream may be too thick if the motor stalls. Check the processing time. Turn off the ice cream maker for 20 minutes. Clean the ice cream maker. Put the freezer bowl in the freezer and start from the beginning. I'm going to be honest, I'm irritated. If that's out of the box and you've done it, and we did set a timer.
Also, going back to real life situations, you're doing this probably with kids. You don't get this thing out very often, and when you do, it's a special occasion.
Right, so.
Reset.
Later in the day, we're going to give this another crack because we think we let the ice cream freeze too much. So, we've refrozen the freezing bit.
Which is now clean and ready to go. We've made a new batch of the thing, exactly the same Cuisinart recipe. Right, we'll come back to it in maybe 7 or 8 minutes, and then 10 or 11 minutes, and then 13, 14 minutes.
We're literally going to keep on pouring
Pumping.
it until it works. Okay, so we're 8 minutes in.
And that is not the sound of optimism or
The
hope.
churner has stopped, and we're
Okay.
getting this noise.
But this time it hasn't frozen in the middle, it's still very wet, but I'm guessing something has frozen to the outside and locked in place. But it's not frozen.
It's not frozen.
So you can see some of it is slightly more frozen where it has kind of caught the edge. 8 minutes, half the time it suggests before checking it. But the motor gives up at that point.
Looking at the reviews, it's a mixed bag, mostly positive, but there are lots of negative ones that have the same issue as us.
It could be catching, we could have a
froze
dud
the bowl,
model.
We chilled the mix.
We've done
pushed
everything.
it along as per guidelines twice, and we've wasted a lot of mix in doing so.
I think it's also worth saying the other version of this, which is the one with the freezing element in it, which is a tabletop version which churns, which you scoop soft serve out, has a soft serve setting, does have lots of good reviews, and I've got that one at home, and it always works. But how much do you think it is?
At this point, a price is actually irrelevant because I wouldn't recommend anyone buys it at £1.
Okay.
If you
How
see
much
one on
is
a
it?
car boot sale,
It's-
I'd
all
steer
right,
clear.
150 quid.
Yeah. You are on form today. £158.95. And the version that we know works is at least £100 more than that.
My issue is, had we got to this today and perfectly served some soft serve ice cream, my challenge with it is it's so time sensitive and you get 6 portions, and then the one thing we do know is it is a nightmare to clean.
I can imagine a few of you are going, well, why are we watching this not work? And we got to a point where once we tested it the first time and decided to give it a second go, we said, let's give it its best chance. But then actually, we should really tell people that this didn't work for us because it's the truth.
Yeah. So, here's the question. Does this serve vibes, or does it make you want to ice cream?
Isn't it funny how we have formats and we feel like we have to finish it even though it's
I know.
ice cream?
Yeah, I'm really, really disappointed. And if I'd have purchased this at home, I'd have been so excited in the same way to use it, and I'd be equally as disappointed when I got to this stage. If you do have one of these and you've experienced similar problems, get in touch and let us know whether you're able to rectify them. And if you do have one and it does work, and you've seen us do anything wrong, also let us know. We'd like to know.